In this short video, I'm gonna try to explain how to generate an Apple developer token that can be used in ShazamCatalog, for example, in the ShazamKit Android SDK. Because I've had some of my Android folks complaining about the ShazamKit documentation on Android, basically saying that, of course, the code part is okay, but they are having issues generating the developer token, and without it, you cannot access the Shazam catalog to basically be able to match or identify songs in Android using the Shazam SDK. So first of all, we're gonna be going to the Apple developer website, where basically there is a link in the Shazam documentation showing you what to do basically, which is very vague if you're not familiar with the concept they're talking about. So they basically have this link where we can just go to the Apple developer website, where they try to explain how to create basically the token. So if you're familiar with the jargon, you can go ahead and try to read, but basically they just show two main steps. The first one is about creating a media identifier, and they're explaining all these steps to do on the Apple developer website. The second is to create the private key that you'll be able to use to sign and create a GWT token or JSON Web Token. So they try to provide some steps to guide you, but most people I've talked to seems to be having some issues generating token codes. If you follow different links here, you'll end up getting lost. So I decided to make this short video. First of all, we're gonna head to the Apple developer website, and what we're gonna do is just go to the certificate, and here here we get to the certificate identifier and profile page. And what we're gonna do is, first we're gonna have to create an identifier. So we go to identifiers, we have many identifiers, and here I'm gonna choose a media identifier. So you can see here that they're asking me, can you generate an identifier that can be used for Apple Music or Shazam? So yeah, of course I'm gonna generate an identifier. And here what is already selected is the media identifier. If you read, they said you can use it in Apple Music or the Shazam. You can click continue. Description, you just give it a meaningful description for you to say media for Shazam identification. And here they're asking for using reverse domain name string, something like, here you could use your package ID basically. So here you could use your package name, for example, something like com dot, I don't know, media.com dot, I don't know, like your project maybe is called game dot id dot something. So basically just something that can be like a reverse domain name that you want. Anything you want is okay. You can now enable different things here. So here we are interested in the Shazam part, because here we just want to match the audio against the Shazam catalog, which is great. But if you want you're using the music kit or Apple Music, you can still select those ones. But for this case, I think ShazamKit is fine, and we can proceed and register our media ID. So here we finally have our media ID right here. And if you go to the next step, this is done. The next step is to create the basically private key. So we're gonna head here to the keys, and we're gonna create a new key, and here we're gonna name it Shazam, maybe recognition, maybe the name of the app if your app was game. So you can always identify by reading the name of the key. And yeah, we're just gonna be like selecting, okay, we have our key here. What do we want like this key to be like enabling? So we're gonna do here the media services. So here we have access to the music catalog and make personalized requests for authorized users. Okay, we're gonna proceed, configure, because now we select the media ID that we just created here. So they are linked together. As you can say, associate the media service private key with the media ID of your app. So if you create, now save, and now you can continue. If you click now register, what is going to happen, you're going to now have the ability to download your private key here, which is only once. So once you download it, it will be deleted on the Apple servers and you won't be able to download it again. So it's better to download it and save it in a, I would say, backup location or secure place. I don't know. It can be your drive. It can be your any GitHub private GitHub repo. That's fine, and you can still download it now. We're gonna download it, and yeah, this is done. So the next step is now, okay, let's go generate our token. So we have different ways you can do that depending on your context. For me, it's since I'm already on Mac and I'm using Swift, so I'll be using a dependency called Swift GWT, which is basically a package uh, that allows us to generate the GWT tokens or and so on. So it does a lot more than that, but here we just focus on that part of creating the GWT token, because it also allows us to verify that and decode and so on. But if you're an Android user, you can consider other packages such as the GWT from Auth0, which is also good and can do the same thing. You just have to understand the minimum thing to do, and you can be able to generate the token. If you are more on a website, you can still do the same using the JSON web token implementation in Node. So this website also, I mean, the repository from Auth0 again shows how to do it, and it's pretty straightforward. So let's jump right in and let's proceed. So to generate our token, we're gonna be using three main things. So first of all, let me just create a dummy application for the purpose of creating the token. Let me just name it token gen, and yeah, let's create it. So here we have our project initialized. We don't need any UI particularly, but here what we're gonna just be doing is just getting the required information. So here we're gonna be needing the three informations.